Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Notes from a Songbird podcast with yours truly, Myra DeShields Farrell, and we're building on vocal analysis. We're coming back as a mini episode. This episode should not be too long. It's really to show you the ability or the power of having vocal analysis conducted on your voice. When you get to a point where you've been singing for quite some time and you're month over month consistently listening to a song and nailing down that song and getting that pitch and so forth, this could be too early for you, but I'm just going to say you might want to do a vocal analysis. And when I say that, I mean taking it a step further. A step further, to give you an example, and what I'm talking about is leveraging artificial intelligence. Some people have an aversion for artificial intelligence. I personally don't. I see it as a tool, just like the internet or the web was a tool for research and locating information, deep dive studies, and things that you could find in a particular vehicle that you probably could not find somewhere else or easily accessible. So, vocal analysis, to have someone do it and conduct a vocal analysis on you is going to cost you money. It's going to cost you some coins, right? Well, why not leverage AI to do it for you? So, let me give you an example. I personally went and did a vocal analysis on myself. I literally asked AI to give me information based on my voice. So I literally recorded my voice, I uploaded it into AI, and I wanted a full scale report on who am I? What's my tone? What's my sound? What is this, that, and other? I'm going to read exactly what was revealed to me because I had vocal analysis conducted. It says, artist you sound closest to right now. See that? I love AI. Some people say, oh, AI could be wrong. Yes, it can be wrong. But majority of the time, it's correct based on what it's being fed, right? If the information is accurately fed to them, then you should get accurate information coming out. So I'm accurately feeding them my vocals for them to accurately feed back to me what they said. And not they, but the system or the tool. It says artist you sound closest to right now, and it made direct comparisons. That means strongest match. Can't make this stuff up. If I wanted to say, oh, make me sound like Madonna, can you see if I sound like Madonna? They're probably gonna be like, you are far from Madonna. They're really accurate. It said clean front and center vocals like yours. This is the artist Her that they gave me. They said my connection with her is emotional restraint, that I don't over sing. It says you place notes, which is a wonderful analysis to know, right? That I am doing something right. It says smooth instrumentation supporting the voice. So, whatever music I'm leveraging, it says it's a support to my voice. It says you and her both sound like the voice is the main instrument. Now, come on, y'all. Who wouldn't want to get those type of accolades or get that feedback from vocal analytics? It also says Jenny Aiko or Janae Aiko. I'm probably saying her name wrong, but soft, controlled delivery. And I do know her as a singer as far as knowing her music. The same with her. I'm familiar with her music. So I'm saying, now that one was news to me. I never would have compared myself to this person as a singer. But it says she has an airy, calm energy, which is beautiful to know. Emotional, but not dramatic. And I can be dramatic, y'all. But they're saying I don't ever do that in, that particular singing. And I've uploaded a few songs, just to be honest with you, to get a full scale analysis. But you can do this with one. It says the similarity between Janae and myself is that we both create a mood more than a moment. That's important to me. So far, so good. This person shocked me, did not know, did not even think I would even land in their space, but they gave me SZA. It says, the reason why we are alike is because of the space in the production. It's modern R&B structure. There's vulnerability in our tone. I do sing from emotion, so I can honestly see them really saying that that is what they capture because that is true. It says her style is known for atmospheric, minimalistic beats with emotional honesty. This is like really, really good for me because honestly, my album that I'm coming out with, in a month or so is exactly revealing that. Since her style is known for atmospheric, minimalistic beats with emotional honesty, and that is me. You don't hear a lot of layering when it comes to her voice. She just sings clean. You lean slightly more polished, it says, and controlled than her. Less raw, more refined. So kudos to me on that, right? Whatever. I love SZA. Secondary comparison, same ecosystem. They gave me Summer Walker. Intimate, and I'm familiar with Summer Walker. Conversational vocal feel, like says like I'm having a conversation when I'm singing. I love that. Minimalist R&B production. Yep. Relationship focused vibe. I do create songs that are relationship focused, and I do have conversations sometimes as I'm singing. So it's 100% me. It says her sound is described as vocal forward, intimate writing with soft synths and minimal drums. I can't make this stuff up. Different. She's more whisper raw. It says, whereas you're more clear, polished, and vocally intentional. I'm shocked, by this information. But anyway, they also gave me Snow Allegra or Allegra. Smooth, soulful tone, slightly more classic R&B influence, emotion carried through tone versus runs. You share a grown, refined sound. It says this is important. Ari Lennox, neo soul influence, warm, grounded vocal presence. You're a bit more contemporary, polished, less gritty, more controlled. I do say that I'm a contemporary, right? So I fully believe that. Where you stand, and this is important, here's the honest strategic positioning. You are not overly trap R&B, overly experimental, overly melismatic. You are a clean, seasoned, emotionally intelligent vocalist in modern R&B space or in a modern R&B space. What makes you different? Your advantage? Most artists in this lane lean too whispery. They lose clarity or they're too raw, less control live. You have clarity, control, experience. You can hear it. That puts you closer to a blend of her and Snow Allegra or Allegra, however her name is pronounced. If you were positioned in the industry, you would fit into adult contemporary R&B. I fully agree with that. Live performance ready R&B artists, I agree with that. Jazz influenced modern and soul artists based on your background too. So I fed it some information about my background and my singing experience. So they're taking all of this information and compiling some of that information that I know to be true because that's my life. I've lived it. If I had to place you on a playlist, you sit comfortably between her, Snow, and Janae. Real talk, artist to artist insight. Your sound is more mature and controlled than a lot of what's trending. That's not a weakness. It's actually better for live shows, better for longevity, better for branding as a serious vocalist. Listen, y'all, all of that to say to you that a vocal analysis is your best bet because a vocal analysis is what's going to get you to understand what your sound is like, who you are linking into as an artist, not who you are going to stay, but where you could end up or where you're trending toward. Don't be surprised if it gives you some critical information that is really, really deep and hard to accept. Because remember, you're in the beginning stages and it's going to be accurate. I've had a few friends of mine and I've encouraged them to have a vocal analysis conducted. And believe you me, they were shocked when they saw that the system or learned and read that the system had captured them in their true modern day state and they did not get good feedback. That's okay because handling criticism as a singer means you're growing without breaking. So we're going to talk about that in the next episode. I talked about it a little bit, but we're going to talk about that in more depth of how to handle that criticism and where do you go with that? What if they say you don't sound good? Where do you go with that? That's why I said this is going to be a little mini episode to build on where we were going in episode 18. This is going to conclude episode 18 because we're going to move into more of a deep dive of handling vocal criticism. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about me and my voice and leveraging our artificial intelligence is a powerhouse not using it to make you sound perfect. Mm-mm. We're talking about if you had to sing live, are they going to get Myra? Or are they going to get, say your name, or are they going to get some artificial intelligence? But when people go to concerts, they want the real deal. Let's talk about you learning to be the real deal. All right. And so let's get closer to your goals. Next episode, we'll talk about vocal criticisms. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you learned the analysis is key, but don't try to do everything all at once and be running. If you're so new to this, you might want to give yourself several months. Some people could be a year, whatever's going to take for you to get better, but without strain. Slow and steady wins the race. So keep that in mind. Songbird out. Have a pleasant one. Bye.